Hi everyone, I am Dr. Anjani Devi, Associate Professor, Department of Biotechnology, Vignan's Foundation for Science, Technology and Research. As you pretty well know that I am dealing with the course Enzyme Technology. We have completed 2 units and now we are moving towards Unit 3. Before we start the Unit 3, first we will have a glance of what are the topics that are involved in this Unit 3. In this particular unit, you are going to study about kinetics of single substrate reaction. Along with that, you are going to study about estimation of Michaelis-Menten parameters, importance of Km, then multi-substrate reaction mechanism and kinetics, importance of turnover number, types of inhibitions. In that we are going to study about kinetic models, substrate and product inhibitions. Along with that, we will be covering allosteric regulation of enzymes and deactivation kinetics. So, after learning all these topics, you will be in a position to model kinetics of enzyme catalyzed reactions and enzyme inhibitory and regulatory processes. So, ultimately, it's very important for you to model this kinetics for enzyme catalyzed reactions. So, we will be learning how to model the enzyme catalyzed reactions after going through the topics involved in this particular Unit 3. Before we start what is enzyme kinetics, I want to give a short introduction about what is kinetics. Then what is kinetics? Kinetics is nothing but it's a study. Enzyme kinetics is nothing but is a study of chemical reactions where enzymes are involved with a focus on their reaction rates. So, what is enzyme kinetics? Enzyme kinetics is a study of chemical reactions that are catalyzed by enzymes with a focus on their reaction rates. Along with that, not only you will be knowing about this reaction rates, you are going to study about the effects of varying conditions on the reaction that are catalyzed by these enzymes. What are those conditions which can affect or which has influence on the reactions catalyzed by enzymes? Those conditions are nothing but concentration of the substrate molecules. As you know pretty well that how a reaction is taking place in the presence of enzyme. What are the requirements for a reaction to take place? You need a proper substrate on which the enzyme is acting. Then you require an enzyme which upon combination giving rise to enzyme substrate complex, which further will be giving rise to product along with release of enzyme. Now your enzyme is free to bind with another substrate molecule. This is actually the modal reaction which is catalyzed by enzymes. So, in order to carry out an enzymatic reaction, what do you require? You require a substrate molecule which will be coming and binding to the enzyme, giving rise to enzyme substrate complex, and further there is production of product with the release of your enzyme. This enzyme is now free to combine with any other substrate molecule. So, for any enzyme catalyzed reaction, the major requirement is your substrate, and the parameter, the condition which determines the change in the reaction is nothing but your concentration of your substrate molecule. And then the temperature. Temperature plays a very predominant role. The rate of reaction will be increased with the rising temperature. So, the temperature is very much important for a reaction to take place at its pace. And then the presence of inhibitors as well as pH. pH and temperature are the physical parameters which will be determining the reaction rate. whereas presence of inhibitors will be deciding whether the proper reaction, proper product will be formed or not. For example, if there is some inhibitor in the reaction, it will be competing with the substrate molecule, and sometimes it will be going and binding to the active site of the enzyme in the case of competitive inhibition, and then there won't be any scope for the substrate molecule to go and bind with the enzyme. Then there won't be any formation of a product. So, what are the various important conditions which are very much needed, which are very much essential for a proper reaction to take place? Those are nothing but your concentration of your substrate, presence of inhibitors, and physical conditions such as temperature and pH. Besides, what you are going to learn, what is the importance of your enzyme kinetics, what your enzyme kinetics is going to give you, what is the information, what you will learn after studying the enzyme kinetics. The study of this enzyme kinetics will be revealing the catalytic mechanism of the enzyme, how the enzyme is going to act upon the substrate molecule for the production of a product. You will be learning about the catalytic mechanism of enzymes. Besides, you will be knowing the role of this metabolism. So, what is the role of these enzymes in the metabolism, and how the activity of enzyme can be controlled. As you know pretty well that enzymes are produced in very minute quantities. So, it will be very much problematic for us in order to measure the concentration of enzyme directly. So, in order to measure the concentration of an enzyme, we are going for an indirect method, which is nothing but we are going to measure the enzyme activity. So, here after studying the kinetics, you will be knowing how you can control the activity of the enzymes, and then we will also know how a drug or a poison, maybe inhibitor, which inhibit the enzyme, how these inhibitors are inhibiting the enzymes. We will be learning about that also. So, after studying this enzyme kinetics, you will be in position, you will be knowing the catalytic mechanism of enzymes, the role of metabolism, as well as how the activity of these enzymes can be controlled. Along with that, how these inhibitors will be inhibiting the enzyme. Let us understand how the enzyme is acting upon the substrate with the procedure. I will explain you. Let us understand the enzyme kinetics as a function of your concentration of your substrate available for the enzyme. I have told you that the concentration of your substrate is very much important parameter for a proper reaction to take place in the presence of an enzyme. So, let us we will try to understand the enzyme kinetics as a function of your concentration of your substrate. Let us start the experiment with a series of test tubes. That means, let us take a number of test tubes. To that, we will be adding the substrate. You have added the substrate molecules. Now, the point or the time at which you are going to add enzyme to the substrate molecule present in the test tube, you are denoting it as 0 time. You are denoting the time at which you are going to add the enzyme to the substrate as 0 time. And after addition of your enzyme to the substrate, we will just observe how the reaction is taking place. We will leave the test tube without disturbing it for few minutes. We will wait for few minutes. Then we will measure the newly formed product concentration. So, as we have added enzyme to the substrate, the enzyme will be going and it will be combining with the substrate molecule to give enzyme substrate complex, which will be further giving rise to product. So, in order to know how the reaction is taking place, whether the reaction have taken place or not, we are going to measure the concentration of the product that is formed after certain amount of time. Then, when the amount of substrate is greater than the amount of enzyme, for example, in the reaction you have taken lot of substrate when compared to enzyme is limited. So, when the amount of substrate is greater than the amount of enzyme, then the rate is the initial velocity. The rate of reaction is nothing but the initial velocity, which you are designated as V0. This is a condition where you have a lot of substrate molecules with limited amount of enzyme, and this is the case when the reaction starts during the initial period of your reaction. So, I want to tell you that when we are plotting a graph between V0 and S, V0 in your y-axis and S concentration of substrate in your x-axis, at lower substrate concentration, the initial velocity is rising linearly, and with increase in substrate concentration, V0 is settling as, you can see this rectangular hyperbola. I will explain you about two conditions. Let us consider a condition where the enzyme concentration is high and substrate concentration is low. Now we have a lot of enzyme molecules. Now we have a number of active sites available so that the substrate can go and bind. As the substrate molecules are limitedly available, these substrates will be going and binding to the enzymes, and some of the enzymes will be remaining unreactive. This is the case when the concentration of enzyme is high than that of the substrate. Let us consider the second situation where the concentration of substrate is high when compared to the enzyme. Now, the active site of the enzymes is completely blocked or completely occupied by the substrate molecules. Now, all of your enzyme molecules are occupied. There will be certain substrate molecules remained unreacted with the enzyme molecules because of less availability of the enzymes. Now, let us study about single substrate enzyme reactions. What is this single substrate enzyme reaction? What do you mean by it? The heading indicates that in the reaction, a single substrate molecule is going to participate. So, a single substrate molecule is going to participate in this reaction. That's why we are calling single substrate enzyme reaction. Brown in the year 1902 suggested a reaction scheme. According to him, there are two sorts of assumptions. I'll explain you what they are. According to him, an enzyme is present which is going and binding to the substrate molecules. After they bind, we are getting an enzyme substrate complex. Here, the reaction is carried out and there are some constants on this particular reaction. The constants are K1 and K minus 1. K1 is a constant for the forward reaction, whereas K minus 1 is a constant for reverse reaction. And this enzyme substrate complex is going to get converted into product with the release of your enzyme. And the constant which is involved in this forward reaction is K2. At low substrate concentration, you have to note this very clearly. At low substrate concentration, your enzyme substrate complex is directly proportional to the concentration of your substrate. And at high substrate concentration, all the enzyme molecules will be in the form of enzyme substrate complex, as all the enzymes are bound with the substrate molecules. So, the availability of the enzyme is in the form of enzyme substrate complex. So, all the enzymes will be in the form of enzyme substrate complex, and further increase in the concentration of substrate is not going to affect or bring any sort of change in the velocity of the reaction. And then the equation to describe the kinetics of these schemes can be derived by two different types of assumptions. What are the two assumptions? The first one is your rapid equilibrium assumption, and the second one is steady state assumptions. There are two sorts of assumptions in order to explain the enzyme catalyzed kinetic reactions. So, what are those? One is your rapid equilibrium assumption and the second one is your steady state assumption. We will study about these two assumptions now. With the rapid equilibrium assumption. So, according to this, the enzyme and the substrate concentrations can be determined using the dissociation constants So the concentration of enzymes and substrates can be determined by the dissociation constant, since enzyme substrate and enzyme substrate are in rapid equilibrium. As enzyme substrate and enzyme substrate complex, all these are in rapid equilibrium, you can determine the concentration of enzyme and the substrate by using your dissociation constant. In 1913, Michaelis and Menton have proposed a mathematical model for this enzyme kinetics. And what are their assumptions? So according to MM, that is nothing but Michaelis-Menton, the first assumption is relative concentration of substrate, enzyme and enzyme substrate complex can be determined by the dissociation constant, which we are denoting as Ks. So the concentrations can be known, determined through dissociation constants. And the second assumption is rate limiting step is nothing but your dissociation of enzyme substrate to enzyme and product. So the step which will be leading towards enzyme and product formation from enzyme substrate complex is determined as rate limiting step. Along with that, what is the important consideration what we are making? We are taking the concentration of substrate is higher when compared to the concentration of your enzyme. This is a very important assumption. Here in this assumption, the concentration of substrate is higher when compared to the concentration of your enzyme. And the enzyme may be available in three different forms. One, the total amount of enzyme, we are representing it as E0. So the enzyme which is participating in the reaction, which is guiding the reaction, we are considering it as total enzyme and denoting it as E0. So once the reaction starts, this enzyme will be combining with the substrate and your enzyme is now available in bound form, which we are representing as bound enzyme. Bound enzyme is nothing but that enzyme which is in combination, which have combined with your substrate molecule. So bound enzyme. And the third form is nothing but your free enzyme. What is your free enzyme? The total enzyme minus your bound enzyme gives you a free enzyme. That means the available enzyme, the enzyme available in the free state is nothing but, you can get that information by subtracting the amount of enzyme that is available in the bound state from the total enzyme available in the reaction. And now just see this particular reaction. Enzyme is getting combined with the substrate molecule in order to give enzyme substrate complex, which is giving rise to enzyme and product. Here, when we are restricting our investigation to the initial period of the reaction, just consider the time, initial amount of time. In the initial period, when your enzyme is going and reacting with the substrate, instantly there won't be formation of a product. So in the preliminary stages, once the reaction starts, this enzyme goes and binds with the substrate to give the enzyme substrate complex. After certain amount of time, we will be getting certain amount of product. So if you consider the initial time of the reaction, you won't be having significant production of your product. And moreover, the formation of enzyme substrate complex from the product is negligible. So we are not considering the reverse reaction and the constant involved in it. So as we are considering the initial time of reaction, we won't consider that, we will think that the conversion of product to enzyme substrate complex will be negligible. That's why we have neglected this reverse reaction. Now the reaction is like this. The rate of formation of enzyme substrate complex at any time period, and that time period should be within your initial time period, when the product formation is negligible, is nothing but your ES is equal to K1 into E concentration of enzyme and concentration of your substrate, where E is your concentration of enzyme, free enzyme, and this one indicates the concentration of your free substrate. So, the rate of formation is nothing but ES is equal to K1 E into S. When you consider the rate of breakdown, it is nothing but K1 into ES. Now, we will bring it to equilibrium. Just see what will happen. See, according to this assumption, equilibrium between enzyme substrate and enzyme substrate complex and breakdown of enzyme substrate complex to product is very slow to disturb the equilibrium. So, the reaction in which enzyme substrate is going to convert into product is very slow. So, at equilibrium what we will be getting? K1 E into S is equal to K minus 1 ES. Let us bring all the constant aside. E into S divided by ES is equal to K minus 1 divided by K1. We are considering these two constants as Ks, which is nothing but your dissociation constant. You are denoting these two constants in the form of Ks, which is nothing but your dissociation constant of ES. So now, if you consider total enzyme, what is the total enzyme? Which is nothing but your E naught. So, total enzyme is nothing but, if you consider the amount of free enzyme and amount of enzyme in bound form, you will get the information about your total enzyme. So, total enzyme E naught is equal to concentration of free enzyme plus concentration of your enzyme substrate complex. Here, we are dealing as concentration of free E concentration. This we are designating concentration of E, which is nothing but your free enzyme, and ES is your amount of enzyme that is present in the bound state. So, E is equal to, if you bring E this side, E is equal to E naught minus ES. So, E is equal to E naught minus ES. So, just let us consider this particular equation. Here you know that the concentration of enzyme and the concentration of substrate divided by concentration of enzyme substrate complex, it is designated in the form of Ks, which is your dissociation constant. Now, you substitute the value of E here. You substitute this value here. Then what you will be getting? You will be getting E naught minus, here if you substitute E naught minus ES into S divided by ES. If you rearrange this, you will be getting the equation as the concentration of ES is equal to E naught into concentration of S divided by concentration of S plus Ks. Upon rearranging this equation, you will be getting that. Here, the overall reaction is like this. ES is equal to the concentration of your total enzyme into concentration of your substrate divided by concentration of substrate plus your dissociation constant. So, what is the rate of this overall reaction? We can represent the rate of overall reaction, which is equal to K2 into Ks. Now, when the substrate concentration is higher, then the enzyme is present in the form of enzyme substrate complex and the velocity is maximum, which we are designating as Vmax. So, let us try to incorporate this into the equation. Here, Vmax is equal to K2 into E naught, which is nothing but your Vmax is equal to constant K2 into your total enzyme concentration. Just check this. Now, according to this particular equation, V is equal to K2 into ES. Just incorporate this particular, substitute this content in the place of ES. Then V is equal to K2 into E naught into concentration of S divided by concentration of S plus Ks. Now you pretty well know that K2 into E naught can be represented as Vmax. Now we can write this particular equation as V is equal to Vmax into concentration of your substrate divided by concentration of your substrate plus Ks. Now this equation we are calling as Henry-Michaels-Menten equation. So what is this Henry-Michaels-Menten equation? That's nothing but V is equal to Vmax into concentration of substrate divided by concentration of substrate plus dissociation constant, which is nothing but your Ks. Today in this session we have learnt about what is enzyme kinetics. I have already defined what is enzyme kinetics. So enzyme kinetics is a study of chemical reactions that are catalyzed by the enzyme with the focus on their reaction rates. So by considering the reaction rate and what are the various conditions that are responsible or which are affecting the enzyme kinetics, those are nothing but the concentration of your substrate, temperature, pH, as well as the presence of inhibitors. So what is rapid equilibrium assumption? So with this I want to wind up today's session. I want you people to work upon these following questions to assess yourself how far you have understood today's session. Moreover, I want you people to refer this book in order to have the entire knowledge about what are the topics which I have dealt in today's session. Thank you.